guess we're going to the courtroom. And I'm going to say that's probably the beginning of the next episode, so hi, YouTube. Judge says hi, too. Court is now resumed for the trial of Beatrice Frege. Welcome to episode, 25, I think? Anyway, let us review yesterday's proceedings. There was much debate over William Frege's inheritance. More specifically, it was unknown whether the defendant had any claim to her father's inheritance at all. This detail was crucial in determining whether the defendant even had a motive to commit the murder. Luckily, the victim's will was supposedly read earlier today, and it is now a part of the public record. What were the results of the will reading, Mr. Cuthbert? William Frege was planning to leave all of his assets to Jaden von Sanctus, his hopeful son-in-law. However, this was predicated on the condition that Jaden marry the victim's daughter, Laf. And it's clear that Miss Laf will not follow through on that engagement. If the engagement is not made in 6 months, William Frege's assets would be divided among his 3 daughters. I see. So there was no mention of the defendant's disinheritance. Correct, Your Honor. That means the defendant did have something to gain from the victim's death. What you gotta say about that, Ruby? Your Honor, despite the confusion around the victim's inheritance, there is still very little physical evidence that implicates my client. May I remind you that Miriam Frege was not telling the truth in yesterday's proceedings. That itself is extremely suspect. Because we know you coached her. And William Frege was clearly not above manipulation and lying. Yeah, neither are you. You can't prove that she knowingly gave false testimony. I'll admit that I can't prove that. They're just staring at each other. It's like Tyrion's like, I know you're lying, and you know that I know you're lying, and I know that you know that I know you're lying. I'll also admit that there's a lack of apparent physical evidence to substantiate our case, which is why the prosecution would like to call Haroldson to the stand. Will we actually finish this in this stream? Lord Haroldson? The sword of spell eating clearly plays a large role in the murder, and its theft is one of the few pieces of physical evidence in this case. As the gallery's curator, I believe he can further elaborate on how the sword was stolen that night. More specifically, we can find out about what he did on the night of the murder. I see. Well, the court would definitely benefit from his insight. Bailiff, please escort Lord Haroldson to the stand. So, if Ruby loses this, is she going to be like, oh well, win some, lose some, or does she have a stake in this as implied by some of the previous comments by people like Eris? Is there going to be some consequences for Ruby, or is there going to be some backlash, or does Eris have a plan B? Is she going to put a bomb in the courtroom? That seems to go well in these games. Hey, where's the monkey? Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Yeah, I'm the prosecution now. I get to call for the name and the occupation. Of course, my name is Harold Haroldson. That's Harold. Say it. Harold? No, it's Harold. Say Harold right. I'm the owner and curator of the Haroldson Hall of History, located in Homehearth. That's quite the, alliterative occupation. Harold. It's Harold. Could you please testify to the court about how you discovered that the sword of spell eating was stolen? How did you discover? Well, I don't know. There was a huge-ass explosion in the middle of the room, and how did you think I discovered it? If it will help. There's still more to this. I was keeping an eye on my gallery's exhibits when I realized that my familiar hadn't returned. I called to him telepathically, but he didn't respond. I became worried, so I went around the manor to search for him. About an hour later, I returned to the gallery and discovered that the exhibit that held the sword of spell eating was completely destroyed. The artifact was missing, so I reported the crime to the knights at the ball and they activated a discreet lockdown. Luckily, we found the sword and my familiar later that night. So, what was the reason for orchestrating things like this? Because if the bands of intelligence were fake, again, number one, why did you even bother telling us that? But number two, what's stopping Harold from just putting us a fake spell of sword eating in the case and then having the monkey run around with the real one? And then when everyone asks, it's like, no, it couldn't have been the spell of sword eating. See, it's right there. You can trust me because I'm an authority and a curator and stuff. And I have a hat. I don't understand why the big explosion was necessary. So you went to search for your monkey. Well, that's a sentence I didn't think I'd read today. And that's when you didn't, and that's why you didn't witness the theft? Wait, what? Hang on. Whoa, hang on. Whoa, I got a problem with this. Okay, I have a big problem with this. I just realized something. This is not in order. Either he's lying or something is very wrong. I was keeping an eye on my exhibits. When I realized my familiar hadn't returned, I called but he didn't respond. When searching for him, then I discovered the exhibit that held the spell of sword eating was destroyed, so they activated a discreet lockdown. This lockdown was activated way after the point where he couldn't call to his monkey telepathically. So when did this lockdown activate? Either he's lying about the order of events here, or that lockdown went up way sooner than Harold thought it did. This order is not correct. That's probably the problem we're going to have here, but what does that mean? The thief was probably waiting for me to leave. This is either a very poorly fabricated lie or something else is going on here. They must have wanted to commit the crime without anyone seeing them. Or his testimony is completely full of it. I don't know. If this is a lie, it's a bad one, which actually makes me think he's telling the truth, but we'll see. His search for Eugene must have been a cover that he's using to hide his actions that night. Maybe. I mean, what actions did he take? If he just sent the monkey to do it, then, you know, whatever. And also, if Beatrice was an accomplice, what was her contribution to this? What did she do? So how do we prove this? I was keeping an eye on my gallery's exhibits when I realized my familiar hadn't returned. Are you referring to Eugene? Eugene? Yeah, where is he, by the way? Eugene Haroldson, Your Honor, is the name of the witness's familiar. I want to get a familiar. Yes, Eugene is a spry orangutan monkey. He helps me with my day-to-day. I see. Anyway, you said that he hadn't returned. Does that mean he left you earlier in the night? Yes, he always likes to explore large buildings like Frega Manor, but he usually doesn't leave for that long. So, here's a... No. I was gonna say maybe the monkey just happened to find the sword because he was exploring, but that would explain the invisibility spell. Unless it somehow got cast on him in passing or due to some other condition? I don't know. He usually doesn't leave for that long. I called him telepathically, but he didn't respond. He might be innocent, he might be guilty, I'm still not sure. Does he typically ignore you like that? Sometimes. He's a young boy, so he likes to have his privacy. I try not to pry, but I was wary of what would happen if a noble or a knight came across him. He usually knows not to bother people, but you never know what might happen. I became worried, so I went around the manor to search for him. You left the gallery room? Yes, as I said, I was worried that something had happened to Eugene. Where did you go during your search? Eugene usually knows to stay out of people's bedrooms, so I went downstairs and searched for him there. I checked the bathroom, sitting room, and coat room. Oh, you're gonna get specific. Then I finally checked the kitchen and pantry. He might have gone there to steal some snacks. But you didn't find him in any of those places? No, I didn't. But an hour later, I returned to the gallery and discovered that the exhibit that held the sword of spell eating was completely destroyed. If I recall correctly, the glass was completely shattered. Do we get your spell compendium? I feel like there'd be some interesting stuff in there. This is despite the presence of several abjuration spells that protected it. Yes, it would have taken an extremely powerful spell to break it like that. As you saw, the glass display was shattered into shards. Unless Harold had a way to dispel that magic, a powerful mage must have destroyed it. Perhaps Harold had Beatrice shatter the glass before she went to the ballroom. That could be a thing. But again, why? You just know the password. Were you just trying to make it look like a theft? The artifact was missing, so I reported the crime to the knights at the ball and they activated a discreet lockdown. The sword of spell eating makes its wielder immune to magical effects. What use would the lockdown have been? Honestly, not much. The wielder would have been immune to the anti-magic fields and the spells that prevented people from leaving. But at that point, the King's Guard just wanted to activate it for good measure. Luckily, we found the sword and my familiar later that night. Maybe he didn't care when the lockdown went up then because he knew it wouldn't affect his plans. His statement just now is missing some details. But what details should you ask him to elaborate on? At that point, the King's Jar... No. What was the thing? Oh well. What detail should we ask him to elaborate on? How did you find the sword? Wait a minute, he didn't. It was in Beatrice's room. How did you find Eugene? I'm going to ask about this first one first, because I don't think it matters. How did you eventually find the sword of spell eating? The Kingsguard and I slowly and carefully checked every room in the manor. After about an hour, we finally found the artifact under the bed in the defendant's room. That must be where Tracker hid the sticks that he finds, exactly. Now that we think about it, he's probably the one who stole Celeste's sword in the first place. Possibly. I don't think a rat or whatever took it. Anyway, this detail could be important. Add it to your testimony. Harold. Yes, of course, Harold. He says that he went around the manor to look for Eugene. You think he's telling the truth? Maybe. But his so-called search for Eugene gave him a good excuse to not be seen by anyone. Yeah, but what could he have done? It sounds like the monkey did everything. It's a decent alibi, if not without its flaws. We just need to poke some holes in that alibi. So... as you probably know, the Kingsguard found the sword of spell eating in the defendant's room. Yeah, I don't think this matters, so let's go for the other side. His statement just now is missing some details. What detail should I ask him to elaborate on? How did you find Eugene? How did you eventually find Eugene that night? After an hour of silence, he finally responded to my telepathic messages. He met up with me in the gallery before we went to search for the sword. So this would have been after the theft was reported. Yes. If Eugene dropped the sword, how would the telepathy work? He would have had to pick up Eugene after he murdered Lord Frege. Again, him murdering Lord Frege is a bridge that we have not yet built. How does it put him in the room? This must be the alibi they're using to account for the time no one could see Eugene. Anyway, this detail could be important. Add it to your testimony. Harold. Yes, of course, Harold. He says that he went around the manor, telling the truth, blah, blah, blah. Did we actually say Harold? Add it to your testimony, witness. Oh no, we're calling him witness, and then he says Harold. Yes, Harold. You're the witness, Harold. Eugene finally responded to my telepathic messages. I met up with him in the gallery room before they finally found the artifact. I'm curious about this. Lockdown system covers the entire manor. Right? But when was it brought down? The artifacts... oh, this is just Harold's own personal security. I'm a little bit worried. Tracker's testimony. Well, yes, let's call the dog to the stand, shall we? La 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 la. The order of events is wrong, and I'd really like to call that up. I need a when. I need a when for that security system. Okay. Pointless. Pointless for now. Don't know about that. It's still... do I need to go back and repress some statements? Because that's been something that this game has maybe do a couple of times. I may go back through the statements and see if there's anything new. Dun 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 dun. Who are you? What do you want? Would he yell that at a monkey? I don't know. Sort of accounted for, reported missing. Knight of the Will. Harold knows the password. Armbands of intelligence have not come into play yet either, although the earrings of vitality have not also. I do wonder if Harold has been the one using them, because again, his age is unknown. This guy could be frickin' ancient. Alright, I'm gonna go back through the, actually, before I do that. Invisible, blah, blah, blah. What about this? We need to bring up the fact the monkey was invisible. Blah, blah, blah. Nullification, yada, yada. Bond exists. Telepathically communicate. Wait a minute! Why would Harold need to look for Eugene at all if he can simply concentrate and see through his target's eyes? If he wants to know where Eugene is, he can just be like, let's see what Eugene's looking at. Oh, he's in the sitting room or whatever. Am I gonna bring that up? I mean, I still think the order of events here is completely suspicious, but I don't really see a place to throw a objection up. Let's try repressing some stuff and see if new information comes up. And if not that, then we'll see about, hey buddy, do you know how your own spell works? Are you referring to Eugene? Eugene, name of the orangutan. Left you earlier in the night. He likes to explore. He doesn't leave for that long. Okay, that's not new. Does he typically ignore you? He likes to have his privacy. You never know what might happen. Not new. Left the gallery room. Something might have happened to Eugene. I checked the places and the snacks and the blada. 1 hour later, if I recall, it was shattered. Would have taken an extremely powerful spell to break it. Is this new text? As you saw, the glass display was shattered into shards, or was I just not paying attention? Unless Harold had... No, that's not new. So I reported the crime. What was the point of the lockdown? Not much. I just wanted it for good measure. Eugene finally responded to my telepathic messages. I met up with him in the gallery room before they finally found the artifact. I'll just stick to this one for now. Okay, Harold. Yes, of course, Harold. Okay, I think what I'm imagining is the point here. I became worried, so I ran around the manor to search for him. This seems like the one to jump on. Whoops, that's not the button I wanted to push. Alright, get me back there. Alright, what happens when I throw this out there?
Objection!
No! Okay. I feel like that, might have actually been a thing, but alright. I met up with him in the gallery room before they finally found the artifact. Okay, let me switch to the other statement. I wanna... Why is the statement I need to update the last one in the thing? I gotta talk to Celeste every time I flip it. As you probably know, the Kingsguard found the sort of spell eating in the defendant's room. Yeah, that's, not untrue. How do I point out that the order of events here is wrong? I guess he would just argue that Harold or Eugene didn't respond because he just doesn't do that sometimes. What if I throw the lockdown at this?
Objection!
No? Okay. Boy, this game really should not have given me the power to just throw stuff out there without a penalty. Familiar hadn't returned. Called him telepathically, didn't respond. Got worried. Artifact was missing. I have a feeling it's going to be this last statement, but I'm not sure how to pick on it. Found this... Whoops. Okay, let's flip back to this one. Wait. Run that by me again? Must have been the alibi to account for the time. Yes, of course, Harold. Yes, Celeste, I don't care. Shut up. I need to poke holes. I would love to poke holes. Ah! I keep pressing the wrong damn... I pressed the statement 15 times already. Okay, what if I throw this at you?
Objection!
No, okay. That was a bit of a Hail Mary. I didn't expect much from it. Let's see. Spell eating defendant's room. Oh, I thought I flipped this back to the monkey. Alright, let's just sit on this for a moment. Kingsguard found this sort of spell eating in the defendant's room. I want to look at this. Ancient artifact, wielded by a creature. Harmful magical effects. Legends say it was forged, blah, blah, blah. It was later found in Beatrice Frager's room. Nothing contradictory there. Okay. Tremendous amount of force. I'm still not sure how that works. Lockdown system, in and out of building. Died at 312. Okay, We found our first stumper. Theft of the sword is spell eating a little after 1 a.m. So is that around the time the lockdown went up? Okay, none of this is relevant. Night of the murder, will. Maybe the monkey was responsible for stealing the will, but didn't actually do the murder. Maybe that's what we'll get by the end of this trial, and we'll be like, okay, Harold, you're guilty of this, but that still doesn't tell us who the killer is. Smelled something strange. I still wonder what that is. I have to assume that it's blood. Also, why was it flying? Why am I getting the sound effect that I'm selecting something here? I'm just hovering my mouse over empty air. I still feel like the monkey can't really... You don't need to search for the monkey. I feel like it's... You can know where this thing is. Although, to be fair, Loft didn't know where Tracker was. At least not at all times. Invisible. The artifact was missing. Yes. Can the lock still be active if the alarm is set off? Yes, it should be. Let's see if it specifies that. Oh no, that's the locks on the... I can't remember if the anti-magic spell nullifies the locks. I feel like it probably shouldn't. I'm pretty sure it came up in conversation that the anti-magic fields wouldn't affect the lock on the door or the gallery, possibly for a number of reasons. Possibly because the jewels that power it aren't close enough because they can only cast it in a 10-foot radius. Your brain hurts. Yeah, me too. This is a stumper on this one. Well, an hour later, I returned to the gallery. I became worried, so I ran around the manor to search for him. Okay, this is not up for debate, so let's flip back over to this. Okay, hang on. I skipped through that too quick. After an hour of silence, he finally responded to the messages. He met up with me in the gallery before we went to search for the sword. Maybe that's the thing I press on. Because if you're still searching for the sword, then chances are the lockdown is still up, so how did your familiar respond to you? No! It's the wrong thing! Like the wrong damn son of a... I want to know how you talked to your monkey when there was an anti-magic field up. Nope, wrong statement. Lockdown shenanigans.
Objection!
Gotcha. Okay. You found Eugene before you went to search for the Sword of Spell Eating. I knew it was something along these lines, just had to figure out how to weasel our way into it. This would mean that happened while the lockdown was still active, am I correct? Yes, as much as I was worried about the artifact, Eugene's safety was far more important. That's the thing, Harold. You said that after hours of silence, you finally received a telepathic message back from Eugene. What? Uh-oh, Ruby knows. I actually forgot you were even here. So that leaves one question. How did you communicate with Eugene telepathically if you were both within an anti-magic field? What? Did you not know? Also, why would the monkey... Okay, here's another point of conflict here. If Harold was doing this, why would he even need to give the monkey an anti-magic sword to nullify the anti-magic field that would have prevented them from doing what they were doing if he just had a fake sword and didn't report the theft in the first place? This is a little bit contrived. Okay, I'm starting to think Harold didn't do it. So wait, you got the thing right put in the wrong place? Maybe. Let's see. Well, you weren't right about the lock being active or not. It's just, how did the monkey talk to Harold when the lockdown was still in effect? So, yeah. In response to the theft, the Kingsguard activated the lockdown system to prevent anyone from leaving. That same lockdown system would have placed an anti-magic field over every inch of that manor. Okay, so every inch of the manor, he is saying. It's in italics and everything. That field should have suppressed the telepathic abilities given to you by familial bond. I need to drink again. I'm so glad I put a mute button on my stream deck. You guys do not need to hear me coughing. You wouldn't have been able to speak with Eugene at all. Well, well. Mr. Cuthbert, are you accusing the witness of lying in his testimony? I don't know. Shenanigans are afoot, but I'm not sure if it's a lie. Please, Cuthbert is blowing this entire thing out of proportion. Anti-magic field is a resource-intensive spell. We can't assume that they managed to cover every inch of the manor. But I picked the lock evidence. I picked the lock down. That's more like the alarm. I'm not sure what you meant by lock and alarm then, because when you said lock, I assume you meant the lock on the door or the lock on the exhibit. The alarm being set off is what triggers the lock down, which is the anti-magic field. We can't assume that they managed to cover every inch of the manor, especially the areas that would only be accessible to a small animal. As tomorrow, let's assume that Eugene managed to reach some sort of blind spot in the lockdown system. The magical telepathy granted by familial bond connects two people. Even if Eugene wasn't affected by the anti-magic field, Harold would be. That's true. Huh, and he agrees. That's very true. So, how did I hear him that night? There's only one answer that makes sense, Harold. You did hear Eugene telepathically, because Eugene was wielding the Sword of Spell Eating. What? Huh? I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert. What are you saying, that the Sword of Spell Eating was stolen by the witness's pet monkey? I am, Your Honor. It's the only way the witness's testimony makes sense. I don't know. I'm starting to inch toward the monkey just finding it. Maybe the rat was moving it, and Harold, or Jan, I should say, caught it, and it dropped the sword, and then Eugene found it. Maybe. Possibly. But that would have all the makings of a botched murder, and this was not botched. It went through, so I don't know. Ruby's just like, where's this going? I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand either yet. She doesn't have a rebuttal. We should push this while we still have a chance. Harold Haroldson, you were the one who stole the Sword of Spell Eating, weren't you? No, I actually don't think he was now. And what reason would I have to steal something that already belongs to me? It was to take suspicions off of you, because you were the one who had William Frege killed. Okay, now that's a reach. You staged a robbery and used the sword of spell eating to make Eugene invisible. Then you sent him through the manor's ventilation system. Also, you could have him murder William Frege in his study. You are going to get laughed at so hard, my guy, because there are so many dots that haven't been connected. I do wonder why the monkey was invisible, though. That's a weird one to me. Yeah, Ruby's just like, what? Well done, Cuthbert. I suppose you just can't stop yourself from pursuing a lying witness. It's what I do best, Miss Tamora. Is Ruby liking this now because it sounds like I'm about to clear her client? Of course. Witness, do you have anything to say in your defense? I think he might, and I think Ruby knows. Ruby's just got that smug look, and she's got reason to be smug a lot. Well, it's completely obvious. It's quite obvious, but I completely refute the prosecution's allegations. He's misguided, but he's just doing his job. Yeah, there we go. So his thoughts are just like, well, you're wrong. So Harold didn't do it. Harold was a red herring. He was a red herald. Huh. We were expecting his thoughts to be hostile like before. Then do you also refute your statement about Eugene telepathically speaking with you? I know better than to lie on the stand to try to save myself. I can't explain how it happened, but I stand behind my testimony. Okay, yeah. You see a monkey holding a sword, but not strong enough to use it as a weapon. That's way too far-fetched. Exactly. But the other thing is, William was killed by a letter opener. He wasn't killed by the sword. Whoops. Eugene did telepathically contact me during the lockdown. But how did he do it? I wonder if there is actually a way he did it. This is the murder weapon. So I'm pretty sure a monkey could have wielded this, but still, you'd need a fair bit of arm strength to slash someone's throat. Also to completely shatter the thing by holding it. That still hasn't been explained either. So I think the monkey maybe just found the sword and then dropped it so the tracker could find it. How did he do it? So we know Eugene had the sword because Tracker caught him. So I don't think we're wrong about that, but what did this lead to? Or where did it come from? No. Click on the thing. Wait, so he doesn't know how that telepathic communication happened? So he didn't plan it. Perhaps he overlooked it when he was planning the murder with Beatrice. No, I don't think so. Again, like I said before, it's very contrived to stage a robbery of a magic weapon in order to counter the lockdown that you know is going to come up when you stage the robbery of the magic weapon. Like, why not just either not bring it or bring a fake or not even use it because you don't need it because there's no effing lockdown. Just, yeah, there's some contrivances here. And that's your position, Cuthbert? That the witness said a monkey to murder William Frege? It may sound ridiculous, but it's the only thing that makes sense. No, I think it's making less sense. Or do you have any evidence to refute that, Miss Tamora? No, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with you, Cuthbert. My client is off the hook. Okay, time for lunch. Good trial. Oh yeah, right. This helps you. Fuck. Wait. Tyrion? Mr. Cuthbert, did you forget that you were prosecuting Beatrice Frege? Oh yeah, right. I forgot my job. Your Honor, even as a prosecutor, it's clear that Cuthbert just can't stop himself from finding the true culprit. But wait. I also meant to say that the defendant conspired with the witness to commit the crime, because I need to pull that out of my ass as quickly as possible. Oh, really? And do you have any proof of this conspiracy to commit? No. Forget what I said about pulling things out of my ass earlier. Of course you don't. But even so, let's assume that you did have any evidence to prove your statement. Now Ruby is just rolling over us as she does. Let's assume that you did have evidence to prove your statement. If this was really a plot formed by my client and the witness, what will my client even contribute to this plan? Again, that's what I was thinking. From what you said, this plot was completely carried out by Lord Haroldson and his familiar. Well, the glass! He would have needed a powerful mage like the defendant to break the sword's display case and stage the robbery. No, he would have just used the password. So her contribution to the murder was breaking some glass. Can you prove that my client shattered the display case? And can you prove that she did so knowing that it would somehow lead to her father's death? Man, I suck at being a prosecutor. Miles Edgeworth makes this look easy. We might have gotten a little too eager to prove Harold's guilt, exactly. Why not question the monkey? I guess that's an option, but who's going to believe that we can do that? I joked about that earlier, you know, bringing up the parrot, the orca. But, you know what? It may happen. We'll see. Because we do need to know where the sword of spell eating came from. It was Tracker's quote-unquote testimony that took us to the monkey. Where would the monkey's testimony take us? The physical evidence against my client was almost non-existent in the first place. Meanwhile, it seems the prosecution has just brought forward physical evidence that implicates Lord Haroldson. Physical evidence that is supported by his own testimony. Hey, wait a minute. There has to be some explanation for this. Cuthbert, didn't you ask me something yesterday? If my client didn't kill the victim, then who did? I suppose I should thank you for finding the answer. Ah, you stepped in it, my boy. Damn it, all we did was make it more difficult to prove our case. But Harold has to be involved in this. We weren't wrong about that. I think you are. I think the monkey just found the damn sword. Only Eugene would be small enough to traverse the air vents. Also, why was he invisible? You said that as a joke, but if it does happen, what the hell is up with this game? I think we still have to peel back the layers of this onion. There's a lot more going on here. But, I mean, questioning the monkey, if we can question a dog, dogs and monkeys are both very intelligent. We should be able to get something from it. We just need to know where the damn sword came from. Isn't there anything else we can use? Also, we don't even need to ask the monkey, technically. We can ask Harold to ask the monkey. Just be like, hey, Eugene, the hell you find that? So isn't there anything else we can use? With the threat of indictment, Harold must be stressed. I don't know, he seems pretty chill. It's gotten me out of tight spots before. Maybe we can find the evidence in his mind. Watch it not work again. Huh. You can use every trick you have, Cuthbert. No, Ruby is happy now. She's like, well, this went better than I thought. It won't help you. Ignore her, calm your mind, and focus the eye of Horus on him. Would she have conditioned her witnesses to be more immune to the eye? Well, I guess that's not necessarily the case, because it didn't work with Loth. Harold is cut from a different cloth, though. I still feel like he's an older guy with a lot more experience. Just like Lloyd was immune to the eye, I feel like this guy might be as well. We have to find something, anything that might tie the murder to Beatrice.
Naught can remain concealed.
Oh, it might remain concealed. It's remained concealed before. Oh, no, I guess we get to just do whatever the hell we want to you. Cool. Lockdown system. Let's just throw the things that we know are relevant to Harold. What about the armbands of intellect? And these things. What's up with those? So, this for starters. I can't believe that one of my artifacts was used to commit a murder. It wasn't. The letter opener was. Well, I guess this was part of it. It's completely disrespectful to the culture and history behind it. What? He's speaking as if he truly had no hand in this. But that can't be true, can it? No, I think it's true. That's one of three. Lockdown system? What if I just throw the relics at you? The armbands of intellect are still missing. But I inspected it closely before the Lord's... Oh, here we go. Okay, so it wasn't stolen ages ago. It was stolen off the bat. So where are they? Are they on the rat that Jan has trapped, maybe, possibly? But I inspected it closely before the Lord's ball. They were still there when I moved them to Frega Manor. Someone must have stolen it during the ball. Right. We never did find what happened to the armbands. Could there seriously have been a second thief there? If there was a second thief there, who the hell was it? Probably Eris. I just blame Eris for everything because everything is Eris's fault. Right, the bracelet was a replica. I forgot that was in your last stream. Yeah, that still is completely unanswered. It might be on a monkey, it might be on a rat. Ears of Vitality are of an ancient artifact. Tell me about these. At least the earrings of Vitality were left untouched. It's one of the few artifacts left that's imbued with the Scaled Lord's power. Alright, so those were dead ends. What about the lockdown? Young Tyrion's argument makes sense. I couldn't have heard Eugene when the lockdown was active. What is going on here? Yeah. Harold is actually free and clear, so what the F? Method of entry. Oh yeah, what about your security, my guy? Not one, but two artifacts were stolen during the Lord's Ball. What if someone else discovered and used the password? Maybe that's all there was to it. I never expected anyone to completely bypass my security like this. What? He's speaking as if he truly had no motive in this. But that can't be true, can it? Or hand in it. I'm going to have to start reaching here. What about this? I mean, this... What else we got going on? Map, map, map. I can't imagine you care about this. Why am I thinking about this? Yeah, didn't think so. What about rats? No. Can't imagine this does anything. No. What about the spells? I want to know what spells you know. Tell me about familial bond. Eugene, just what were you doing that night? Yeah, are we going to lead to us questioning the monkey? Is that where we're going? Did you really wield the sword, if only for a brief moment? Wait, he should have known exactly where Eugene was that night. Why would his thoughts say that? Yeah, here we go. What about this? Young Tyrion, nope, we know this. So he is an innocent boy. Why am I thinking about this? Okay, you don't know invisibility, maybe, possibly. What if we go over here? What about just Eugene? No. What else we got going on? Who else would you have possibly maybe interacted with? What about someone that could have broken the glass? Why am I thinking about this? No. What's the final piece of the puzzle? Maybe this? No. It's got to be relevant to Eugene talking to him. What about this? No. I'm not sure if I picked that before. What about you? I can't imagine. No. No, I'm just flailing now, but that's okay. We do that. We do flail sometimes. Maybe your mind is going, old man. You seem to be thinking about some weird and crazy stuff, man. You should get that looked into. What about Eris? No? Okay. What about your ass? Oh, here we go. I've gotten myself wrapped in quite the predicament, haven't I? Oh well, I've gotten out of far worse situations. Wait, now we're back into thinking guilty. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, alright. Never mind. Not the monkey. What about Miriam or Laugh or whatever? Anyone else you interact with that day? How about this asshole? Who else would be relevant? Maybe him? I can't imagine you interacted with Yawn. No. Yeah, I'm running out of options here. What about the dog? Did I pick Steelwind? What about me? Maybe I become relevant some... Wait! Oh, that actually did it. It appears the boy thinks I was involved in this. Although, given what he said, I can't blame him for thinking that way. I truly wonder about what really happened, though. What? He's speaking as if he truly had the... No, exactly, so... We're just realizing, wait a minute, Harold didn't do this. Are we going to actually talk to the monkey? But that can't be true, can it? Wait. I heard the noise. I heard the noise that said I won. What about Ruby? Did she threaten you? No. What about Steelwind? Almost forgot she was in the game. Nobody else here is really important. Did I ask about you? William. Oh, okay, I didn't. I thought this might be... Because these guys did fight. It's a shame that things ended up this way. I truly hoped that I could show you the value of Wivengard's history. Okay, that's just flavor text. What else we got? Not the kid. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Why is the kid in here and not Oster? That's weird. Shouldn't Oster be listed in here if Alaric is? That's odd. Okay, I think I picked every single person and I picked every single spell. What the F am I missing? Did I present this? No. Alright. Throw poop at the wall, see what sticks. Ace Attorney rules. What about the will? I'm gonna start throwing things that... Well, I already did this, I already did that, It's truly a shame that Beatrice was driven to flee from her own family. If only I'd introduced myself to her, perhaps we could have found a solution together. He doesn't know Beatrice? But how? She planned the murder with him. No, he didn't. Nope. Pull the rug out of that theory. We're done. Unless what? Wait, what's your unless? What's going on? He's speaking as if he really had no hand in this. We can guard ourselves from the eye of... Oh, you can guard yourself from the eye of Horus, but you can't lie to it. And if that's true, were we wrong about Harold's involvement? Is he really innocent? See anything, Cuthbert? Yeah, Ruby knows. Ruby's the only one who knows we can do this, so she's just like, I'll let you play your minigame. Your Honor, it's clear that the prosecution has nothing left to argue. There's very little evidence implicating my client, and there's a far more likely subject in front of us right now. Yes, I must agree, Miss Tamora. Nope, I don't agree. Ignore the last hour, please, thank you. At the very least, I see no reason to prolong this trial any longer. Whoa, wait. Beatrice couldn't have personally done this. Discounting the fact that she's completely blind, she was with the two princes for most of the night. So again, was this Eris? Was this Ruby? Was it both of them? Or was it someone else? I don't think Loph or Miriam were involved in this. But I am drawing blanks. Like, I really feel like Ruby's the only one who could be. But that still doesn't explain how it happened. There's still way too many unanswered. Where did the spell eating even go? Where did Eugene find it? We need to talk to the monkey. We need to interrogate the monkey. So who actually killed William Frege in his study? Think about this. The reason why you suspected Harold in the first place was because of what Trackers said. We need to find out what the monkey said. I regret not talking to Eris before we checked that vent. Because we usually examine and then talk, but that screwed us there. Tracker's vocabulary is primitive and limited. Oh, so maybe... But Eugene had to have found the sword at some point, or else Harold couldn't have talked to him. Tracker's vocabulary is primitive and limited. He used the word rat to describe small creatures that hide and act suspiciously. We still don't have an explanation for the flying rat. But even if it wasn't an actual rat, it still could have been human, right? You're right, it would have been a small animal. A small animal with the strength and dexterity to traverse a small air vent while holding a sword. Tracker definitely saw some kind of animal. Was it someone else's familiar? We don't know of any other animals besides wolves, monkeys, and rats right now. I don't think. Oh God, no, don't ask me this. Maybe it is. Maybe Beatrice just has another familiar. She's got a rhesus monkey she's just gonna pull out of her ass. Let's see. She's got to have something with her because there's been times she can see. It wasn't Eugene. Oh, well, these are my only options. Okay. Oh, so we are gonna go with that. Tracker said, oh, it's just gonna skip over because it was literally one of two answers. Tracker said that Eugene came out of the air vent on one side of the hallway, then he fled the air vent to the other. Even for a small monkey, those vents would have been cramped. He wouldn't have entered those vents out of mere curiosity. Why was Eugene in the air vents? Eugene was scared? Eugene was acting of their own free will. Was not acting of their own free will? Again, we need to see Beatrice's spell compendium. If there's something super obvious in there, like dominate mind or something, it's like, why did we not see this day one? What the F? It should be standard procedure to just publicly produce the spell compendium of the defendant when they're a mage, because why the hell would you not? It looks like a rat. It's strong and it can fly. What are we missing? I still don't know about the flying. That could be something Tracker just kind of volunteered based on how Eugene was acting, or they could have literally been flying. But let's say Eugene was not acting of their own free will. No. No, not that. Was acting of their own free will. Eugene was acting of his own free will. That's the explanation that makes the most sense. But how and why? Talk to the monkey! You know you can do that now. Harold is the only person that is magically connected to Eugene. And even if Beatrice somehow got Eugene to follow her orders, she wouldn't have been able to direct his actions telepathically. Beatrice couldn't use any other conjuration spell to contact him either. She was also in the anti-magic field when she was with Oster. So if Eugene was the one who murdered William Frege, was he acting independently? What the hell sense does that make? Yeah, that doesn't really seem possible. How could Eugene have carried out this plan independently? Are we literally just going to blame the monkey? What? The monkey just planned the whole thing? I'd love to know how it got the sword out of the container. It also involved murdering William during the lockdown and destroying his will. Eugene might be smart for... Oh, the stupid bands. This is where they're going to come into play. So Eugene does have the bands of intelligence, but why? Did someone give him the bands and then say, hey, go do this or I'm going to kill your master? Or something like that. That could work. Eugene might be smart for a monkey, but a normal monkey wouldn't have known how to identify and destroy William's will. Even if Beatrice had somehow trained him to do all this beforehand, Beatrice stole the armbands of intellect. Wait. Eugene stole? Eugene wore the armbands of it. Okay, let's get there slowly. No, it couldn't be. I discovered that the armbands of intellect have been stolen as well. Yeah, remember when we were talking about this and the monkey went into his anime push up the glasses pose? And I drew attention to that? It looks like it wasn't a rat. It actually was the monkey. Show me that sprite. Show me it. And unlike the sword of spell eating, we still haven't found the armbands. We look at the glass case where the armbands used to be. The thief didn't shatter the glass. Exactly. Moreover, the armbands were actually replaced with a very well-made replica. I'm guessing the monkey knows the password that Harold knows. I'm not sure if it can say it. Monkeys aren't the most articulate of creatures. Maybe it can just think it and open up the box? But also, if it were going to get the monkey to participate with the plan, we would need the bands beforehand. So maybe that's not it. The magical locks on the case can be disabled. How are they normally disabled? They can be turned on and off using a spoken password. Okay, it has to be spoken. How many people know this password? Maybe Beatrice got the password from the monkey and she spoke it. Only myself. I personally oversee the transport of these items when they're moved. Only Harold knows the password. But someone could have overheard him saying it. Yeah, like you're damn familiar. Someone that's constantly looking over his shoulder. Yep. Okay, we're starting to connect dots. We've made some ridiculous statements in the past, but there's no way the judge will even entertain this theory. Yeah, this is going places. Man, prepare us for some wild-ass speculation, my guy. We'll have to be smart about this. Your Honor, I think there's one more witness that can clear up this discrepancy once and for all. Get ready for that monkey. Get ready for it. The monkey's taking the stand. Oh, no. Oh, I just had a horrible idea. Oh, I just had a bad thought. We speculated in the hallway that if Beatrice had an accomplice, she would never trust him. And it was implied that she might dispose of him. We were worried about Harold. I have a feeling Eugene might not be available to testify anymore. Oh dear. This is a problem. Uh-oh. I think there might be a reason the monkey's not on his back right now. Beatrice, you stone-cold bitch. Your Honor, I think there's one more witness that can clear up this discrepancy once and for all if they're still alive, which they probably aren't. I believe he can prove the prosecution's case to the court. Really? I frankly find that hard to believe. Please trust me, Your Honor. There's an element to this that we all aren't seeing. And it's one that no one will believe. Huh. What do you have planned now? Yeah, you better impress me here. I'm going to give you one last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. You're going to ask me who I want to call to the stand, and you're going to be like, you have got to be shitting the fuck out of me. But know that if your next witness fails to unveil any new information, I won't hesitate to end this trial. I understand, Your Honor. So, I'm going to need you to bear with me for a moment. It's like, okay, I'm about to say something really stupid. Just give me some latitude here. It's going somewhere. I promise. I swear. What? Why? Why are you saying this? I'm already worried. Your Honor, the defense calls Eugene Haroldson to the stand. Immediately the music ends, just like, no. Celeste. Yeah, what? Even if we don't offer that we can communicate with animals, Harold certainly can. It's his familiar, so this is not that far-fetched. Never mind, I retract my earlier statement. I'll be passing. No, I'm done. Wait, just bear with me for a moment. Mr. Cuthbert, I should find you in contempt for even suggesting this. You honestly think I'll allow a monkey to give testimony in my courtroom? Yeah, it sounds pretty out there, even for us. No, I played this video game this one time. I'd like to remind the court of the nature of Harold's bond with Eugene. Eugene is a familiar. That means that Harold Haroldson can speak with him telepathically. But this is absolutely... Show me in the law that says an animal can't give testimony, Your Honor. It may be unprecedented, but it's not against the law. Very well. Your Honor, you can't be serious right now. Are you actually going along with this? Oh, Miss Tamora, I am looking for any possible reason not to enter. I am so sick of this shit. I am getting so drunk after this. But Mr. Cuthbert has a point. There are no laws against his proposal. So I suppose I must oblige his frankly insane actions for now. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not as if this will reveal anything. Okay, again, what does she know? I can't believe I'm saying this, but... Bailiff, please escort Lord Haroldson's monkey to the stand.